Hey, it's Julia. It's Sunday. Thanks for joining me on this Instagram Live. What I wanted to share with you today is mindset tools and tips, and also just kind of give you a little bit of a background on my approach to coaching. Let me just adjust my camera a little bit. So I would say my number one tip for mindset in terms of fitness and getting on the right track, if you're a 50 plus woman, is self-love. And when I do these Instagram lives, I really feel like there's a crowd of 50 plus women out there who have walked and maybe walking the path that I walked for so long. And we started this walk on this path maybe when we were teenagers, maybe, even in junior high, preteens, where as a woman, 50 plus, those decades ago, we measured our self-worth by how much we weighed and what we looked like and what it said on the scale. And there was always this idea of the perfect number, the perfect dress size, the perfect jeans size, and trying to live up to that and being miserable because we were never at the point we thought we wanted to be or that we should be. And as a young woman, we weren't as bombarded as young women are today on social media because, of course, this is like pre-internet, pre-cell phones. But the messaging in society has been so ingrained in certain groups, I would say, of women and certain cultures that you can never be thin enough and you can never be beautiful enough. And so we're always living up to these expectations. And of course, fashion magazines perpetuated that for us if you are 50 plus, pre-internet. And so what happened was I would have an immediate reaction as a young woman. Oh yeah, God, I hate the way I look. I hate the way I feel. There's no way I'm going to put on a bathing suit. My jeans don't fit. I'm not going to go to that party because nothing in my closet fits. I don't feel good about myself. And in other areas of my life, I had friends, I was popular, I did well in school, but I carried this feeling of not good enough, not beautiful enough, not thin enough. And all of that really carried through my 20s and and part of my 30s. And I got to a point where it was a knee-jerk reaction. Okay, I got to go on a diet. I got to lose this weight. I got to feel better about myself. And it's exhausting. And then I would go on a diet, 1,000, 1,200 calories. I did an early diet in the 80s written by a woman doctor. She wrote this book, a diet for women by a women doctor. And basically it was the Atkins diet before the Atkins diet became popular. So it was high protein, no carb, and high fat. And I was living in New York City at the time, and I can remember the hard-boiled eggs and the steaks and the this and the that. And I was also jogging, and I lost, maybe 25 pounds of fat and muscle, and I was just the same unhappy young lady in a skinnier body, and it made me so ill. I was so sick from the high protein and no carb. And so, it was not sustainable, of course. So I went back to eating like a normal person, and because I hadn't lost the weight in a healthy way, in a structured, measured way, eating nutrient-dense foods and lifting weights to build muscle, it came back with more weight. And we've gone through this again and again and again, the yo-yo cycle of dieting. And I don't think that anyone benefits but the diet programs. They know they don't work. They know we have to come back for more. They want us to be tied to a program, fail, and then a couple of years later come back. It's like a proven marketing ploy. It feeds into our low self-esteem at the time, And then now we get bombarded on social media with all this, these images of how you should look, how you should be, and it's exhausting. So the main mindset tool that helped me was getting to the point where I thought, I can't do this to my body anymore. I can't do this. I need to love myself enough to find a different reason to feel good every day. And that reason was to be healthy. Optimal health was my goal, not weight loss. And I also was bolstered by, and many of you have heard this story, of a 30-year anniversary of a operation I had that saved my life. And I realized at 62, I had been given almost 40 more years of life that I didn't expect to get. And I was so grateful. That really lit the fire under me to take care of my body. And just out of the gratitude for being alive and self-love, that's when I started my serious fitness program and researched, what can I do to be healthy? Not what can I do to lose weight? Because if you just Google that, you're going to get all these programs to come up. Losing weight is really about losing fat and gaining muscle. And those are very different things. Losing weight and losing fat are two different things. Because when you lose fat, you want to replace it with muscle. When you replace it with muscle, your body is more efficient, how it uses food. You can actually eat more than you ever did and not gain a pound, and that comes after time. But the mindset tool was, I love myself enough to really care for this body, which, I call the chariot for the soul. It's our car that we drive around in on planet Earth. You're stuck inside of this car for a lifetime. Should it not be an enjoyable, comfortable ride? And the only way to do that is to take care of all the inside parts. You can't just paint it red and expect it to go faster. And that's what losing weight is. I'm going to change the outside, but I'm not going to touch the inside. The inside is where it's all happening, in the mindset. So besides loving yourself, I think the attitude of being more neutral towards these negative things that come up in our mindset, like some women have discovered, I'd say some people have discovered that a traumatic experience in their life might have given them a trigger where they don't feel safe. One way to feel safe and protect yourself is to put on armor. Fat is armor. It's a protective mechanism. And so if you could find out what that traumatic experience was, go back and revisit it. And instead of looking at it as a trauma, look at it as a gift. What did that traumatic experience teach you? What did you learn from that? And take away the sort of the trigger that it incites inside of you, and then maybe you have emotional eating, or you binge eat, or you punish yourself with food, you weaponize food. And I had to do this in my late 20s, early 30s, where, my low self-esteem, which I learned from my mom, God love her, God rest her soul, she did the best she could, but she didn't have self-esteem. She did not know how to teach her daughters self-esteem. And so there was a part of me that always felt, well, I don't really deserve to be loved in the way that I want to be loved. I'm not worthy of a healthy relationship where I'm adored by my partner. And so I picked male relationships that reinforced that low self-esteem. And after a practice marriage that lasted 10 and a half months, I thought, what is this? It's why do they always find me? Why am I always with men like that? And then I realized it's because I have a sign above my head, neon, saying, I can be manipulated, I can be treated like crap, and because that's how I feel about myself. This is a really graphic example of how we attract things into our life according to how we feel about ourselves. So I had to take responsibility for that. I am putting out these messages. I had great relationships with women, super great relationships with siblings. It was just that sort of that love relationship angle was not healthy. And so I found out that messages I got as a child were affecting how I was carrying myself in the world, the thoughts I was having that were subconscious. Did a lot of work on that. And then a couple years later, I met my husband, Paul, who I don't even like to say we're still married. We just belong together. The love is supportive and deep, and we're best friends and lovers, and because I found the kind of love that I didn't think I deserved in him. And he did too, and me, because we both did the work. We both had work to do. We did the work on our own. We came together, and now we're both very aware of, if we have arguments or disagreements, what triggered that. We can look at it in a rational way. So the neutrality of these experiences, if you can look at them and see what's the value. So what was the value of being married to a man who didn't know how to love, didn't know how to give, 10 and a half months worth? It opened the door for me to really look at myself. So that was a gift. That relationship and the divorce was a gift. And thank God we didn't have children. It didn't last long, but I learned a lot of lessons from it. The other mindset tool on a fitness journey to change your outer and inner self is to have patience. Just have patience. Take the long view. And those early weight loss schemes that we've all been a part of was always, okay, in 3 months I want to be down 30 pounds, or in 3 months I want to lose 20 pounds. And it was always, I want to get there, I want to get there, I want to get there. And we probably got there. And then what? Then what happens? Okay, so I can buy new clothes, I look good in my jeans again. But that newness wears off because you haven't done anything but really painted your car red. You haven't changed the engine. You haven't updated the computer system. You haven't done anything in the inner workings to make it so you could drive from New York to California. You maybe got out of town. That's about it. A couple of miles with this new body. So having patience and having the long view of a goal, not really even worrying about the scale, because as you are trading fat for muscle, the scale may not move, but your body will tighten. Your clothes will fit differently. Your skin will look better. You'll sleep better. Your mood will be better. So it's not about the weight loss. That's a side effect. So always going for the low-hanging fruit. Oh, I want to lose 30 pounds by this date. You can make a goal like that, but have it just be a marker. So what happens after that? What's your goal after that? Where are you really going with this fitness journey? It can't be so short term if you don't have a plan, a long view, and you're patient to let it happen. That's something I never did before. And when I started my fitness journey in 2019, I look back all the time and go, what have I done differently that this has been enjoyable, sustainable, and it worked? Well, part of it was the mechanics of lifting weights, of course, with eating nutrient-dense food, but it was I just wanted to be healthy. I wanted energy. I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do for the rest of my life, be independent. And the other thing that I really wanted to do was take away all limitations about, oh, I can't do this because I don't feel well, or I can't do this because I don't have the strength. And so my goal was really to definitely live my best life. And when I look back and see it's almost going to be going on 4 years, early next year, that's major for me. It's been such a success. And one of the other reasons it's been a success is that I don't restrict. I don't deprive. I'm not in this mindset of I can't have this, I can't have that, I can't have this. Part of that is because of the macro plan of eating. which you don't need to be on a macro plan to have success, but you need to be in a non-restrictive, flexible, nutritious plan so that you don't feel like I can't have this, I can't have that. That's always going to make us want to have it. It's always going to do that. So if you can incorporate foods you love into a food plan that works for your body, and its calorie deficit will help you lose the fat, weight training will help you put on muscle, those two things together are your success recipe. But you do it day in and day out, day in and day out. Even days you take rest days, you're aware of being in a fitness mindset. That's a mindset tool. And if you look at my stories, I always say that in my workouts, day in, day out. It's just always, it's something I do. Just like you get up in the morning, do you have to go, should I brush my teeth? No, I don't feel like brushing my teeth. No, I don't think I'll brush my teeth today. You just do it. You do it. It's habitual. It's part of your routine. And exercise can definitely, going to the gym, whether it's your home gym or a gym, can become that routine where you just get up and you do it. The other thing about mindset is that I think our mind needs structure. We compartmentalize everything. We put things into little boxes mentally, and it helps us process the world, our experiences. And when a lot of women, I get messages, I don't know where to start. I totally get that. There's so much to know. But if you're given a structure to follow, eventually that structure, it morphs and you make it your own. It fits your body, your routines, your life, the foods you love, and you just keep at it. So that structure is one of the things that has helped me so much, that I have something I can follow every day, that I can, plan on doing. And that includes food prep. I've had clients say to me, I don't know what to eat. I mean, I go look in the refrigerator, and at the end of the day, and I haven't met my macros, or they're off, or they're whatever. Food prep and food planning is key. You can't just fly by the seat of your pants. Know what you're going to eat. Prepare what you're going to eat for the week or for the next 4 days. And that, again, is structure. It's putting a structure in place that you can depend on. You can go to the fridge. You know what you're going to have. And you figure out in the morning what your macros are going to be if you work with macros. And then the other thing is being willing to change. Just being willing. And some of that, I can't do this, needs to go. Especially if you're 50 plus. You are in your power decade. They call us elderly. Can you believe that? Okay, maybe we're elders, but we're not elderly. That word just sort of cracks me up, because women 50 plus have done more in their lives than anybody. Raised families, had a career, dedicated. I mean, it's just the nature of women for us to give. I'm not saying it's not the nature of men, but I often think women give birth to life. We give birth. That means we can give birth to anything. We can give birth to a new life for ourselves. It doesn't have to be children. We've got that magic factor, that wow girl factor. And at 50 plus, and I know I'm 65 now, I have so much life experience that I can use to move into my best life in a second, in a heartbeat. And that has pivoted me from university professor educator to fitness educator, because I want to share what's worked for me, because I know it can work for you too. I know it can. And that's why I share so much on Instagram, because I want other women to know it's possible. And with my medical history, hopefully that convinces you it's definitely possible. So the other thing besides willingness to change that's very important are your thought patterns. We are broadcasting towers of energy. and our thought energy and what we put out there in the world, we are broadcasting. Just like I broadcasted to the world of the opposite sex in my 20s, I don't have self-esteem. Oh, I found the men that liked women like that. I found them. Were they at fault? No, I was putting that message out there. So once I realized I was doing that, and I worked on myself and I dealt with the issues that brought me to that point, not blaming anybody, taking full responsibility. I need to be aware of what I'm putting out in the world. Everything changed then. And on every level, we are broadcasting energy. And if it's a woe is me, I hate my body, I'm old, I can't do this, it's too late, there's not going to be any door that's going to open for you that you can walk through and find your best life. Maybe a little bit here and there, but if you really want it, somehow life brings you the right coach, the right program, the right time. Maybe you say, I'm too busy, I can't exercise. Well, I understand that too, because you might have children, you might have aging parents, you might have a demanding job. But once you make up your mind to do something and you open the door to that possibility and you start broadcasting those positive thoughts of, I can do this, I want this, things change. They change around you. Doors open, and you can also make choices. Find out at your work, can you cut your hours back? Life to me is not being on that treadmill. And we, in the United States, we're so much about that. We are a nation of hardworking people, and we just have never slowed down. European culture is slower. South American, Central American culture is slower. There's other places that slow down. I don't know what it is about us Americans that we just are on the treadmill. It doesn't have to be that way without sacrificing anything. Find a way. So, and also broadcasting those thoughts, they have an energy or a frequency, and then it's like magnetic. It brings things into your own universe. You attract things. Like attracts like. And so, to me, there's one book I wanted to share with you. Some of you might know it. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. I know this is backwards, but the subtitle is Conquer Your Hidden Fear and Take Life to the Next Level. And a lot of women in fitness have read this book, and his whole message is that we upper limit ourselves, meaning we only get so far, we start having success, and we bring it down because we're afraid to go beyond that. We don't think we deserve it. So we upper limit ourselves. There's a level we won't go beyond because it's too scary, and we keep things on the down low. So this is a great book if you want to read it, but his main message is, he's boiled it down to a mantra. He's a best-selling author, and he's also a psychologist. But he's boiled it down to an affirmation or mantra that says, that you repeat every day whenever you're thinking, I expand in abundance, success, and love every day as I inspire those around me to do the same. And what I did when I read the book, again, and I know it's backwards, and you might want to screenshot this, I made a bunch of these signs and I put them up on our refrigerator, in our bathrooms, in my office. So every time I looked at it, I felt the energy of the vibration of that thought form. And it changed my life. It really did. It just it opened doors. It made me realize things. It was very powerful. So self-love, the power of your thoughts, being neutral, being willing, having patience, using a structure, those are all mindset tools. And I also wanted to share my approach to coaching because I do have a masterclass that's starting September 15th, and registration is still open until Thursday. And here's the thing about coaching. I want to help and share with women who have walked this path that I've walked in terms of the frustration, the yo-yo dieting, perimenopause, postmenopause. So many ask me, what's the secret? And here's the thing. There is no secret. The secret is you. You have the secret. And I feel like my job and my passion is to help women realize this is an ongoing do-it-yourself project. There is no end point. Fitness is for life. We don't go on a weight loss diet and in 3 months we're so happy because we can fit into that dress to go to that wedding. It's not about that. And if a woman is looking for that, I'm not the right coach for you. I'm not. And women ask me, how can I lose 25 pounds in 4 weeks? And I've had to say, that's unhealthy. I'm not the coach for you. You need to, that's not what I teach. That's not what I'm passionate about. That's not what I feel works long term. And so my approach to coaching is much more the long view, to set down foundational principles first of mindset and look at how you can carry those through the rest of your life in a fitness lifestyle. Not let's get to this goal, okay, I've made it, I'm done. And I also think empowering women to self-coach is so important. You don't need a coach the rest of your life. You might just need someone to help you get started, whether it's the first 3 months, the first 6 months, or the first year. And then depending on your goals, other women have asked me, how do I do a competition? That's a whole different subject matter. And you would have to go to a different coach for that. That's not something that I'm interested in doing. I'm interested in helping women who feel stuck or who used to be fit, want to get fit again, don't know where to start, and just walking them through that. I also don't believe in restriction. I don't believe in pushing people so hard that they give up or overwhelming them with, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. I mean, when you teach or coach women 50 plus, this is an intelligent group of people. They already know. And I think as a coach, I'm not really telling them anything they don't already know. I'm helping them remember, helping them put it in a structure, helping them see that this will carry you through the rest of your life. But the foundation is mindset. You've got to be in the right mindset. And, what does that mean? Well, some of the tips I gave, but this 4-week masterclass that I teach, it's a live virtual transformational masterclass. And yes, there is some nutrition, and yes, there is exercise, weightlifting, but it's mostly mindset tools. Because then after that is a 12-week program where I constantly go back to those principles, and y'all know what I'm talking about because we went through it. You've seen the difference it's made in your thinking. It's given you hope, it's given you energy, and you're on your way. So my approach to coaching is that, I'm just helping you realize what you already have inside of you. And that's not right for everyone. If you want to lose weight and that's it, I'm not the right coach for you. And also, if you want to be a competitor, like an athlete, that's on a different scale as well. But a lot of women ask me, I've been bodybuilding for years, is my class appropriate for my level? And I always say, absolutely, because mindset is something we can always work on. And there's so much nuance to just even nutrition and weightlifting. Even if I'm always learning, and I've been doing it now for 3.5 years. I'm always learning. There's always something more to learn. And getting my certification in coaching, which took a year, that book was this thick, and it was amazing what I learned, and there's still more to learn. So I just wanted to share that my approach to coaching, and invite anybody who's interested. You can go to my website, bodybeautylovelife.com, and get more information. And if it resonates, great. And if it doesn't, or it's not the right time, that's fine too. But it's something that I want to do, and it's my passion, and I just meet the most amazing women through the program that I'm offering. And so I wanted to share that. And again, my peoples, I see these wonderful waving hands. I turned my phone landscape instead of portrait orientation, so it's even harder for me to read any comments. But feel free. I'm probably going to put a little question thing in my stories after I get off the phone here. If you have any questions that you want answered that my tips on mindset tools brought up for you, I'm going to put in. You can put your question in Instagram, and I'll answer them there. And you can always ask me questions on Instagram. So, my lovely, lovely people, thank you. Happy Labor Day weekend if you're in the United States. If you're anywhere else, happy Sunday. Maybe it's Monday by now. But I just feel it's a real privilege to have this platform and this ability to talk to all of you and share what I've learned. Hopefully it can help you and make a big difference in your life. All right, you guys. I will talk to you again soon. Let me know if you like these Instagram lives, and I'll do more of them. Mwah. Ciao, ciao.